Scanners lighten up. I bet there's life around here.
Human of unknown origin detected. Designated outsider. This is an undisclosed secret location. Please identify purpose or depart. Acknowledging receipt of emergency request. Explanation deemed acceptable. Clearance granted to Crucible. Outsider will deliver 150 units of copper. Compensation will be dispensed.
Tobias, stand down. We have a visitor.
Reminder, deliver required material. End of conversation.
This is incredible. For so long we hoped for any visit, and the day has finally arrived. Oh dear, that's a surprisingly tricky question. I'm probably not the person to answer it, but it is a genuine pleasure to meet you. I wish it were even better. Your arrival is truly an historic one, but many fear what it portends. The societies have closed their doors and are arguing about what to do, while the rest hide to see which way the wind blows. Franklyn would know what to do. He's the oldest among us. You should talk with him. Crucible is a tinderbox, and any spark will set it off. We're still recovering from a deadly conflict that happened 3 years ago. Far fewer of us are here to greet you today because of it. Most of us are like me, free and unaligned. But there are 3 societies that are oft at odds with one another. The Believers, the Pragmatists, and the Renegades. It would be wise to meet each of them. Franklyn leads the Pragmatists. Give it time, and I'm sure the others will come out. For curiosity's sake, if nothing else.
When your ship landed, I feared the robots would shoot you on sight. I am greatly relieved that they let you enter our community. But you come during a delicate time. Everyone will seek to use your arrival to further their own ends. No, we most certainly do not. Our relationship with them is a matter of some debate. You ask a question you already know the answer to. Yes, of course. I have need of you. But if you have a good heart and a quick mind, I am sure you will see my point of view. Where to begin? Maybe an introduction? I am Franklyn Delano Roosevelt, leader of the Pragmatist Society. Well, it is gratifying that even after all these years, my name isn't entirely forgotten. You see, I was an American president. Well, not literally, but in a sense I was. Everyone that lives here are clones. Some of us are clones of the greatest figures of history, and others, well, we don't rightly know. When we die, and some of us die quite often, we are brought back. I cannot imagine how strange this must sound to an outsider. Now, there is the question, isn't it? I do not have FDR's memories, but I know every nuance of his life and times. Well, as much as history records. I confess, I feel an undeniable affinity towards him. But no, I am my own man. But not all of us see it that way. Not at all. I have had occasion to see death more than anyone. When someone dies, all they have accomplished here in Crucible, all of their deeds, thoughts, are gone. And when they come back, they are different, modified. The believers say they are improved. Being reborn can take years, sometimes over a decade. But everyone comes back. Isn't? I wish I could illuminate you on this, but we are as ignorant of the technology which brought us into being as we are of the outside world. I could see how confusing this may be, even frustrating. But if it's any consolation, many of us feel the same, and we live here. After decades, centuries, of trying to figure it out ourselves, there is so very much we don't know either. The robots clone us for a reason, their so-called mission. But what that is, and what we should do about it, is something the societies disagree about. Sometimes violently. It's best you meet with the other societies, and after, I promise I'll explain the pragmatist's position on matters. Well, it is one of the few concrete things we know about Crucible. If you want to truly know about the mission, the believers will tell you all about it. In fact, it can be hard to get them to stop talking about it. After you meet with them, I'll share my position. Please do. Word has been sent, so the street should be full again. There is more I would talk with you about, but I would not take advantage of your ignorance. Go speak with AMANIRENAS and Genghis Khan.
Welcome to town, stranger. Consider me part of the welcoming committee. The name's Wyatt Earp, and I'd be most pleased if you'd use one of the spare rooms during your stay, for a modest fee, of course. Oh, I'm not all that. Just had the good fortune to receive some good publicity. But to the matter at hand, I'm more than a humble innkeep. I do the best I can to uphold the law, but the societies make that difficult. I expect I've had as much success restraining Genghis as the Chinese did. I do what I can. Roosevelt and I are both of the same mind on that. I'm for whatever side wants to keep the peace. It means that the pragmatists and I are often on the same side of things, but you might be surprised the number of times I've had to ask some of them to back off some nonsense. That's a generous offer. I might take you up on it. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. And by the by, I may have access to some essentials I've picked up over the years. Happy to sell them to you. It runs hot and cold. During usual times, it's an occasional scuffle, maybe a black eye when an argument gets out of hand, and then a society goes on a rampage and it's tombstone all over. I hope your arrival keeps things on an even keel. I'm hoping you come back for some repeat business.
I had hoped you would visit me. Good. Know that you stand before Queen AMANIRENAS of the Kush, queen of a dead kingdom on a dead world. But I earned my name, and even the sands of time cannot take it from me. In truly ancient times, my land lay south of Egypt, a harsh country. History is enamored of my contemporary Cleopatra, but she would have withered and died had she tried to rule my land. Your courtesy is appreciated, even though it rings hollow. My subjects are all dust. If you don't believe me, no, you are not alone. Some clones deride me behind my back. I know this, but I feel in my bones that I am AMANIRENAS for true. The great and the terrible. To those who would oppose me, I remember things no one has told me. Memories of faces, betrayers, lovers, allies, and enemies. And the smells. The right scent. And I close my eyes. And I can picture all of it. So vividly. It aches my heart. My home. My kingdom. Have you no faith of your own? Something you hold to, even though it cannot be proven. It is the same with me. But I am certain. You speak to AMANIRENAS, reborn. If your mind and heart remain open, you will see the truth of it. Once, I called upon mighty armies. However, on Crucible I still lead. Have you heard of the believers? Have you heard of the mission? We are the ones who will take our rightful place in these settled systems, to bring in a new glorious age, and break the endless cycles of oppression and greed. So many scoff at the mission. Before we are reborn here, there are words all of us are told. That we are the chosen. We are meant to better ourselves. To learn, grow, and thrive. All of us represent the greatest figures in our history. Who better to lead the settled systems to a new golden age? You are skeptical. My advisors thought the same when Augustus Caesar stood unbeatable at Kush's border. I made war against the mighty Romans. I took their cities and fought them to a draw. No other king or queen can boast of that honor against that famed Roman. And that's just me. Some of the greatest lions of all ages are awaiting rebirth. What are bureaucrats, petty politicians, and lawyers against that? If we could do it ourselves, we would have, years ago. I do not care if you think my plan is insane. But what I want, what we want, is a chance to prove to the facility we are ready. When someone has achieved their potential, the facility is supposed to set us free among the stars. But the machines have been breaking more and more over the years. And no one has ever been deemed worthy. I need your help to properly fix the facility so that we can prove ourselves and claim our birthright. Surely someone, anyone by now would have learned the lessons the facility sought to teach. No, the machines have not aged well. The crises break upon our beach, each one greater than the last. The facility is another place on this very planet, a place we cannot go, as much as we dream of it. I need you to go to the facility. The robots and what drives them is not here. The facility is where they come from. Somewhere far to the east. None of us can travel there. But you can. Go there, please. And see if the facility can be repaired. Then report back to me.
Weapons out! They come! man from the stars. Come to see me. And you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. I guess the world out there is not so different than here. Genghis Khan, a pleasure to meet you. Then don't believe it. It is true his blood runs through my veins. But I am not he. Crucible tries to imprint the clones with fake memories. Genghis predated the Mongols having written records. For being so great a figure, we know practically nothing about him. When was he born? How he died? Where he was buried? A single speech he gave? Nothing. It must have driven the robots mad, trying to figure out what to do with me. Manners cost me nothing. But make no mistake, I will do whatever it takes to escape this prison. I am pleased that the dangers out here are of no concern to you. You cannot be fully human if you trap yourself behind walls. I would provide fresh meat for my society, so we don't get fat off the robots. Franklin and I see eye to eye on very little, but even he appreciates this. And I always hope to see some means of escape. Perhaps our luck has finally changed. The novelty will fade. I say this from experience. So Franklin told you of us. Oh, that we're clones? Some of us think that makes us special. That the deeds of our namesakes are somehow ours. But that is blind arrogance. We are just people. Same as you. Same as anyone. None at all. It is as if I were a student of his life and times from an early age. I know so much about him, but that doesn't mean I am him. I am me, and I am content with this. Would it? Oh, you would know better than I. But all this talk gets us nowhere. Too many of the others grovel at the feet of the damned robots, trying to play their roles in a broken game. The renegades will not submit, and one day, we will be free. A prison of the mind and the body. Crucible holds out a throne and says, "Obey, and it is yours." But thrones are meant to be taken, not handed to you by a machine. But it is a tantalizing lie that keeps the others in line. I do not know. Everything outside of Crucible is unknown to us. I imagine the settled systems are not so settled that a man who does not shrink from violence can't make a place for himself, though. If Crucible had not hobbled us, we wouldn't. I have died a dozen deaths trying to find a way out of Crucible. You get too far or disobey too much, then death. Crucible holds our lives in its hands. But now, the robots have made a grave mistake. You can go where none of us can. You hold our future in your hands, and all the societies know it. Oh yes, You can go 1 or 2 miles from Crucible, and you drop dead. I have no knowledge of medicine, but it's probably poison. It boils my blood to be subjugated like this. But too many of the clones are sheep. As long as their pens are clean and comfortable, they bleat their arguments. I sense fire in you. Good. You will need it. You know of the facility, yes? Go there and make the machines let us leave. It is not much to ask, and it will set us free.
So, you have heard from the other societies. I must confess I'm very curious what an outsider thought of them, and their positions. You might be the first objectively neutral party we've ever come across. A very diplomatic approach. The facility has gathered some of the most obstinate and dangerous personages throughout history. It has told them that they should lead in a golden age via whatever means they see appropriate. Setting us all loose, Parda as a whole, would invite disaster. We are barely fit to lead ourselves. A tough but fair question. I must admit the case of Amelia Earhart sometimes keeps me up at night. 'Tis safer if the rule is strict, but if you wanted to make an exception or two, I could live with that. But no one from the other societies. They are all dangerous in their own way. The most likely case is anyone that leaves Crucible would die or silently fail. But if the mission is correct, and they do take over the settled systems, in the course of history, it took millennia to cast out petty tyrants. The way ahead lies not looking to the past to literally guide us, but for this generation to learn from us. Terrible and great figures we represent had their time. We made the most of it. We should be at peace with it. Certainly. It is evident that the facility is decaying. It is both unsustainable and unwise for us to fix and maintain the status quo. Our community must be weaned off the machines. Learn how to build, grow, govern ourselves, allowed to raise families so we can pass our lessons to the next generation, and to die when our allotted time is finished. One day we will be worthy of going to the stars. We are just not there yet. Yes, and not to be indelicate, not for lack of trying. Are we even human in this state? We have no future, only the past. Do not listen to passion. Genghis can be very persuasive, but he's a fool. In some sense, we are an abomination, a science project made for unknown ends and with uncertain results. Once we are fully human, fully self-reliant, then we should be allowed to join the settled systems. I am sure in time you will see the validity of my argument. Go to the facility and see what can be done.
shadows. I found something for you.
Genghis and the renegades will be the death of us, unless my feelings about my namesake are complicated. He was a great but flawed human being. On one hand, he guided a country through the ravages of depression and war admirably. He tirelessly fought to improve the lives of the poor and disadvantaged. But as a husband, he was unfaithful. And as a colleague, he was a consummate politician, which is sometimes good, often distasteful. He was truly a great man, and I must confess, I am proud to share his heritage. We are not 100% sure, but I have a theory. The facility has been unreliable as long as I've been alive. My guess is that they are historical figures that just didn't get a proper education. Who's to say what Julius Caesar actually looked like? Or some modern person of note that we wouldn't even know about. Whoever they are, though, they are as smart and capable as the ones that know their identity. Let me see. You have no idea what a reassurance it is to learn even these hints of our past. It sounds like the facility is in ruins, but perhaps the restricted section is intact? Think of the answers it must contain, and perhaps a way to help us become self-sufficient. But there is no security override code here. I would know. Think. Embarrassingly so. And most are too busy jockeying for a position to delve behind the thin lies the facility told them. We all assumed that we arrived via spaceship. But knowing we did, and knowing it was called the Galathea, it sates a need I did not know I even had. To think that Crucible was not our first home. And Genghis Khan destroyed it. I have told people time and time again that the renegade will be the death of us all. And they already were once. The only thing clear to me is despite the facility's efforts, we haven't grown at all. Galathea's sister ship. Yes, if it can be found. Certainly, they had the capability of going into the heart of the facility. If anyone can figure a manner of locating the Beagle, it's Ada Lovelace. I'll radio her and explain the situation. I'm sure she will make every effort to assist.
But if they all fail? So we did come from a spaceship. Of course we did. And there's another out there? What was the Beagle? Why did she and the Galathea part? But all of that in time. First, we must find her. She's not in this star system. I would have spotted her. I've studied the celestial bodies for years. No trace of a spaceship in orbit here or around the other planets. The radio telescope. It has a default position. It resets every morning. I always wondered, why point at Bell 5? Petty frustration I've dealt with for years. Perhaps the facility looks for her sister. Yes! Yes, it makes sense. I can send you the coordinates. The Bell Star system is not far. The facility communicates via a secure frequency. When you arrive, tune into that.
I've got something with your name on it, boss.
ships may be good, but so what? A ridiculous amount of credits was dumped into them. But Hope Tech, that's all Ron Hope. One man with true vision.
I am sick of hearing about your sainted Ron Hope. I mean, trucks in space? Really?
Polvo was a backwater collection of hydroponics farmers until Ron Hope brought them into the 24th century.
Don't go. We can do the experiment here. The facility has everything we need.
Our protocols say we are looking for planets with a 70% plus confidence level. The facility, barely 50%.
And how many planets have we surveyed? On Earth, they didn't know what we would find. My friend, we are getting old. Too old. If we want to have any chance to start the experiment ourselves, the facility is it.
When I was given my command, I swore an oath to adhere to the mission. Dr. Chang, you realize you are a mutineer. You've abandoned us.
The perfect is the enemy of the good. If you can't see that, then I guess there's nothing more to be said.
Oh, thank God you're here. Genghis has issued an ultimatum. He will attack the Pragmatist Society with everything he's got, unless you meet with him. I fear AMANIRENAS is siding with him too. We are on the brink of war. A war I will not shrink from, not when we are so close to victory. I will send a message. We are meeting under flag of truce, something sacred to us. So, no matter how much he vexes you, keep your gun holstered.
The outsider, FRANKLYN.
AMANIRENAS, Genghis. I had hoped we would not be meeting like this after so short a respite from war.
You drove us here, FRANKLYN. Did you think we would let the outsider just hand the pragmatist victory? Stranger, if you do not change your course, there will be none of the pragmatists alive to help. You want peace? Then let the renegades go free. Roosevelt can do whatever he wants with the others.
This is not what we agreed, Genghis. Only those who have passed the test can leave Crucible.
This is my test. Here and now. And I intend to pass it. In blood, if I have to. If you let us leave Crucible, then the pragmatists can do whatever they want here. With my blessings.
Under no circumstances can I agree to that. Genghis specifically should never, ever leave this planet.
So there it is. It is spite. That is why the great Franklin Delano Roosevelt drives Crucible to ruin. To deny me my own chance to live in the settled systems.
Your namesake was a plague upon the world. Arguably the greatest butcher in human history. If there was even a fraction of a chance I would be unleashing that upon the stars, I would do anything in my power to stop it. Perhaps you are right. AMANIRENAS, The facility and its test and mission are flawed, broken. We all know it. And if you are allowed to author that test, then you control us all.
So the answer is we are all imprisoned here? You leave us no choice but to join the renegades and end your society.
20 years.
What?
We have to stand on our own 2 feet to earn a chance at freedom. So let the outsider reprogram the facility, and for 20 years we work together to make Crucible truly ours. And after, we institute a test, which we both author with mutual veto power, and any who pass may leave.
Do not let the politician cloud your head with pretty words.
You think I would accept this? We have been going in circles for so long.
We could kill them all, and then we could dictate any terms we like.
I only lead my people to battle when I must. Do you promise, Mr. Roosevelt, a fair test? One that we can pass in our lifetime?
I will not make it easy, but it will be, as you say, fair.
No! AMANIRENAS, this is a trick!
Roosevelt has done many things that infuriate me. But his honor, I have never had to question. The believers will not fight. Let the gods decide which of you is right. You are a very odd one. Who knows what the future holds?
You will regret this, AMANIRENAS. Mightily. Then we will meet on the field of battle. The heavens will judge who is worthy.
So be it. We have fortified the society, but this will never end until GENGHIS is dead. He is the linchpin. If you take him out, I know an armistice can be reached. In his every incarnation, he has brought misery to us. Let us deal with him one last time. It is over. Why does it always come down to force? I hope your settled systems has truly learned from the past. Clearly, we have not. To be a leader, a true leader, you must make terrible choices, and then live with them. If it is any consolation, they gave us no choice. Please, go to the facility and make it so that it will obey my instructions, so we can finally grow as a people.
In my darkest hours, blood runs in the streets again. I had hoped, however naively, that we were past that. I do not hold you responsible, but your arrival was certainly a lethal catalyst. May I help you? So your mission to the Beagle was a success? Let me see. It is done. There is a standard cipher used by the facility. It took me many years and, well, lifetimes to overcome. And now, the mysteries of the facility await you. I pray you choose what befalls us wisely.
I have something for you when you've got a sec.
As much as Genghis always pushes for war, I truly wish it wasn't necessary. What was long sought after is upon us. Change. Not all on Crucible will approve of what you have done, but doing what is right is seldom easy or free of difficulty. You have given us all a chance for self-determination. Maybe in time we will be worthy of going to the stars. For some of us, that will be a rude awakening. You have my enduring thanks. And anytime you need safe harbor, know that Crucible is here for you.